Hello, Illumineers, and welcome to Let's Talk Lorcana, your weekly Monday night Disney Lorcana live show. My name is Brandon, also known as B Squared 24. I am joined by and Liam from the Illumineers. How are you, Liam?
I'm good. I'm doing well. He's always around. Yeah, chilling. I'm doing well. What a week. It's been busy. How have you been?
Oh my gosh, it's been so busy. We're in like the depths of reveal season, it looks like. Last week we had an amazing lore cast that was given by Ravensburger, featuring a bunch of cool Ravensburger people and even some content creators as well. Got a lot of announcements. If you missed our show last week on last Tuesday, we go over some of the things that were discussed on that. We had a quick little live show there, which is really nice with a couple friends. And on top of that, there's been a couple. There was like another live stream that they did, I think, on Twitch. I think it was like Wednesday, and then they've had a couple of Discord main stages. There's been a lot of stuff happening in the official Disney Lorcana Discord in regards to letting people vote on cards that got revealed. I've completely lost track of how many cards have been revealed at this point over the past week,
Yeah.
but like I said, we're in the depths of reveal season, so things are coming fast and things are exciting.
Yeah. No, I will say, as opposed to the first few sets where reveals were spread out over the course of a long time, the past couple they've been condensed. And I'm gonna say this to everybody out there: if you're feeling overwhelmed by all the reveals, not just the card reveals, but the news and the store championship stuff and the league kits and all that, just the constant news coming out, don't worry, you're not alone. There's like a handful of us content creators who are managing to keep up, and we are not two of them. We have, I think, we have, which is why we talk to people and bring people on, to talk to us.
Yeah.
But, you're not alone. We're keeping up as best we can, but we all have lives too. So it's one of the reasons we do this show, so we can talk about stuff and all get on the same page. So, But I have like you, Brendan. I think Aaron and I have both missed. Like we've seen glimpses of most of the cards, I think, but we haven't had a chance to really dive in and digest.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's one of the things we'll be doing tonight a bit.
Yeah, that's definitely the boat that I feel like I'm in. I just I'll check Discords throughout the day, and occasionally I'll see a card in one of the a new card in one of the channels, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But going through a couple of the websites that compile all the cards together, I realized there's a lot that I've missed so far. So I haven't really gotten a chance to sit down and like look and digest everything. But I hear on good authority from a couple people that there's some really good cards that have been revealed so far, and we still have some cards to go. So
no, it's fun. And speaking of which, we'll be doing one of those cards tonight. I'm really, really excited for it. We've never done a like card reveal live, like a planned one anyway. All of ours have been pre-recorded videos. So I'm actually really excited to share with the community what we've got and kind of the reveal that we cooked up, and to see everybody's reaction live. So if you're out there in the world and you're watching and you want to be one of the first in the world to see a particular card, hang out, and around 9 o'clock we're gonna kick that off. So tag your friends, bring them in. We worked really hard in this video.
Get all the friends in here to watch the card reveal too. It's really fun to watch some of the card reveals live, and hang out with the community and get people's reactions on the creativity that comes into these card reveals.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I've talked to a few different creators who've done reveals, and everybody kind of compares themselves to everybody else. And one thing I always tell folks is, your reveal is like, it's you. How you choose to reveal a card is like your character, your personality. And so, to your point, it's really great to see how different creators choose to approach particular cards with their brand of humor or their personality. So it's really fun. Tag your friends, get them in here. Shout out to the 4 people watching on Twitch who aren't over in the ICL. Any other housekeeping stuff? Things that happened this week. I cried on a main stage in front of 500 people, so that was fun. I have to mention,
look at that one. I wish I was there. Oh my gosh.
Look at this piece.
I know the Bambi. So I've seen. Hello, what's up, Aaron?
Hi, not much. It is 8:09 and I'm on the show, which I think is like a record for me in recent months. So but this art, oh my gosh, it is stunning. This Bambi art is so beautiful.
So far. I can't say it's my favorite Enchanted that I've seen so far, but it's like definitely up there. Probably my second favorite one. It looks beautiful.
Okay, wait, what is your favorite Enchanted then that you've seen so far?
There isn't there a Stitch Enchanted card?
Yeah.
In Sapphire?
That tracks.
It's like not only like not just because he's Stitch, by the way. That's like my favorite version of Stitch, where he's in like the red alien suit and he's like had, just escaped the galactic whatever, and like has his little plasma cannons and things like that. Like I love that version of Stitch, and that like the card is exactly that. And so I've never outside of Enchanteds from the first chapter to try to collect them so that I can get sort of a master set. I've never like purposefully gone out and purchased an Enchanted that I haven't pulled, and that will definitely be an Enchanted that I end up like spending a little money on just to have.
That's so cool. I'm loving that they're doing these like full art versions of these of the art.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I want more stuff like this.
Yeah. I would love these printed. Like if these were on inserts.
Even like non-foiled.
Oh yeah. Like if these were just insert cards, like on the back of like the lore or whatever, that'd be brilliant. Because they have to do the full art piece for the Enchanted, so seeing it like on its own here is kind of cool.
It's gorgeous.
Also playmat.
I'm gonna echo what Googly's saying in chat here. Release them for my phone wallpaper. There's like multiple arts that I've seen this set that I'm like, please give me a high res version of this art. There was one that was teased, I think, during one of the live streams where it's like it's a Stitch. It's like a landscape art, but it's Stitch, and he's in this like cellar. It looks like where they're like maybe Jafar's cellar, and where there's hexfoil crown pieces and things like that. And he just looks like he's on a heist, and like I want that piece of art so badly just so I can make it a like desktop background or something. I would absolutely love to have a lot of these arts, the full art versions, so that we can sort of save them and put them as our wallpapers and use them in various different ways. That would be so cool.
Yeah, totally agree. One other bit of news other than this, which got me all emotional. This happened today. Just thought it was fun to talk about. We saw, I think this came out today, kind of the league kits.
I think so.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I think they're cool. And they don't look too different than what we're used to from previous league kits, outside of the differences within the cards themselves. Notably, they have the like red ability text, which I think is interesting. I don't remember if the league cards from the previous sets have had the changed little symbol on the bottom. I don't have any close to me right now to be able to tell. I love these big ink symbol pins that have been given out, because I just feel like people really resonate with particular ink colors, and I think it's just really cool to have like big pins with these symbols like this you could use and sort of rep, whether you put them on your backpack or wear them on a lanyard or anything. I really like the design of those. So I don't know, pretty cool. Looks like there's plenty of cards in the league kit to go around too, which is always nice.
Yeah,
I definitely feel like I need all of the ink color, like all of the ink symbols. It's one of those things where you're like, oh, I need to collect them all.
I just got done collecting all of the pins that here. I have one next to me. The these like Lorcana pins that have that are all the different ink colors, because at DLCs I really like to rep a version of these, kind of depending on which deck I think is going to win and things like that. Finally got done collecting those. I'm like, okay, there's no other pins I have to collect. I don't like have to have all the character pins that they make. And then they came out with these, ink symbol pins, and I'm like, well, never mind. I guess I have to get these too.
Well, also, I just love that you just revealed a little like hot take. So now everybody paid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Whispers around the shop. He's wearing steel today. He's wearing steel.
Yeah, it's so fun. I actually don't remember, because it's been so long since I've been to an event, but I want to say in Atlanta, I don't remember if I wore the 2 colors on the final day that I thought would win, or if I wore like one on Saturday and then one on Sunday. But all that I remember is unintentionally, I ended up wearing an amethyst pin and an amber pin, and then Amber Amethyst ended up winning Atlanta, and so I was like, "There's something here." and ever since then, I started trying to sort of predict what was going to happen, and even in I think it was at NAC when Edmund was the only Ruby Amethyst, and day 2, I had worn pins to predict Ruby Amethyst to win, and he won it out again. And so I was like, "This is such a fun game for me to play," and we'll see if people pick up
Look
on
at you, Brandon.
it. So
Everybody pay attention to what Brandon's
look
wearing.
out for that for Worlds.
That's true.
Brandon's gonna predict the winner.
And all my friends that are at Worlds, if I'm not wearing your colors, it's not because I don't want you to win. There is no rhyme or reason for this, but
it's funny. There's gonna be a Blue Sky account that's like Brandon Pinwatch. And that's its
that
sole
would
purpose.
be crazy. That would be crazy.
Yeah, you're in the chat. There's 100 of you in the chat right now. Like you could claim that.
Yeah.
Right now.
And to be fair,
anyway.
I have been wrong many times. There's many DLCs where I've worn the wrong colors, but
you weren't wrong.
Times I've been right. So
the players were wrong.
Yes, we're wrong.
Well, with that, I do want to make sure we get in our first guest because she only has a limited amount of time. We, sometimes we pull this together. We always pull this together the weekend of, and sometimes some of our guests are not announced, and we always have surprises, which is why you should always watch because you get to see fun stuff. So for our first guest, we have a few minutes with her, a fantastic content creator. Not only does she make amazing content, she's a very good player in her own right, and does a lot of fun community projects like helping out with Quest in the Park, which we're repping here.
So fun.
So with that, really, and we very specific reason we brought her this week. We'll tell it in a minute. But with that, really excited to welcome in Enchanted Kim.
Hello.
Hi. What's up, Kim?
Currently in the parking lot of the salon.
Oh no! Love your hair.
My client.
Yeah, I was about to say your hair looks so good.
Go do your thing. Thank you. We added sparkle tinsel, to just add the extra enchanted vibes.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
Thank you.
I love it.
What salon are you at, by the way, Kim? People are in the Washington area if they want to come see you and get their hair.
I'm at Lincoln Collective Hair. I co-own the salon with someone. So that's pretty fun. And I do a bunch of colorful hair. So that's always fun.
Well, if you're in the Washington area and you need your hair colored, go see Kim.
Or anything.
I've always said one day I want Kim to do my hair.
Yeah. What a collab video that would be. That would be so fun.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
Okay, out of curiosity, Kim, if you could dye Brandon's hair any color, what color?
Oh my gosh. Probably amethyst, so we could be a purple amethysty color so we could match. Or maybe blue for the Stitch vibes. That would be fun.
Ooh, that would be fun.
I think you'd look good with purple hair, Brandon.
Thank you. I think it'd be fun for all the casters to do something fun before a big event and just show up. We could represent all the different inks or something. I don't know.
Ravensburger, you would watch the
That's fun. I think we've lost Kim. Hopefully, Kim comes back in a second. And I'll announce while Kim's here. Because she, again, as you all heard, Kim's client is waiting, so we have her for a few minutes. But the reason we asked Kim in, hopefully she comes back up. We're going to ask her about it. Is we love talking about set champs. We also love talking about theme decks and fun decks. And there we go. Yay. Okay, good. I was just saying. Kim, I was just saying, you, Kim, have been working on a princess deck for a long time, and it's fun, it's magical, it's Lorcana, it's Disney, and you just managed to take it into the top 8 of a set champs.
Yeah, I did.
That's pretty awesome.
So tell us about the set champs that you were at, and where were you competing?
So I was competing at Cole Street Game Vault. It is a very competitive area. Majority of the players there, people at Seattle DLC alone, 4 of the people that are there have made it to top 32 at Seattle DLC. So super competitive. So very I kind of came in, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do. I'm kind of just going to play for funsies and rep, those princess deck that I repped at the Pretty Good tournament that Jordan ran. I just kind of updated it a little bit just to change it up and was not paying attention at all to my standings. And I was shocked at the very end to place at like top 4 before cutting to top 8. And I was like, how did this happen? I don't know, but here we are.
That's amazing.
And here you are talking about this. Looking at this, I mean, it's very Steel Song-esque, but and so you look at it at first glance, and you're like, oh, I see Whole New World, I see Ariel, I see a couple other songs, I see Naveen, like it's clear this is Steel Song deck. And then you look closer, and you're like, but wait, there's splashes of all these princesses in here, and then Glass Slippers, and it clearly is. It's not your average Steel Song list. What is this doing differently than like a normal Steel Song deck?
First off, I just wanted to show off the Enchanted because I've always said that if you blind your opponents, that's already like a step up that helps you in the game. So it's all like foils and enchanteds. And then and then I really love the Glass Slipper because Cinderella is my favorite princess. So when I saw that as an item, I'm like, I need to make that work, especially as an enchanted. And so then, you have the Cinderella, I believe a 2-cost one, and then the 1-cost Mulan, where it's like, oh, you draw and discard. On top of Whole New World, where you discard a lot of cards at once, it's like, oh, that's a really easy way to discard the Glass Slipper to have that in your discard pile to then play the 4-cost Cinderella to gain the 3 lore, which always like catches people off guard. And it's like my favorite combo ever. Like whenever I get to pull it off, I'm like, guys, I'm going to do the coolest thing. And then that's turn 4. And then to turn 5 to shift onto Cinderella Stout-Hearted, like always takes people by surprise. It's my favorite thing. So much fun. And even if I don't shift, the 4-cost Cinderella is great because she's 4 willpower. She's a 2-quester. Because she's 4-cost, she can sing a lot of the songs. So overall, like really fun synergy there. Aurora, even though she's a one-off, does a lot of work with the Rapunzel to synergize and get a lot of, I can quest with Rapunzel, heal another, or quest with Aurora, heal with Rapunzel, a different character, ready Aurora again, and then sing her challenge with Aurora because she just can't quest. When you re-ready her, you have the Sonic aerial shifts to do a bunch of craziness. A lot of people underestimate Vanellope and the 9-singer Cinderella. That's a 5-cost, which like can do some really fun combos as well, even though they're one-offs. It's like, oh, people don't expect Cinderella, the 5-cost, to add a bunch of lore if she sings songs because it's like because this deck is majority princesses. If I have 5 other princesses on board, that's 5 extra lore that I could gain.
That's awesome.
So super, super fun deck. And then Mulan, also the 2-cost, or the 2 shift Mulan, that's a 4-cost, also catches people on guard. When I can shift that onto turn 2, onto the 1-drop Mulan, that can easily take care of Belle, or just do the fun trigger where when she quests, I can play a song for free or reveal a card, and if it's a song, I can play it for free. If it's like Zeus, then that is also really cool to do. It always catches people off guard as well.
And I'm so sorry, Kim. We're hearing in the chat, and so I just want to answer a question really fast. Somehow the show got duplicated on YouTube, so one of them is not working, and one of them is working. Have fun figuring it out. But there is a show on YouTube
I'm
tonight.
scared to delete one though. Like as soon as I delete one, I'll delete the wrong one, and we'll all
the
go.
wrong one.
You're trying to move over to YouTube. There is one of the shows that's working, and we'll fix it after the show's over. Sorry about that. Okay, back to you, Kim. This is so amazing because I think that we often, see more casual players like wanting to finally dip their toe into set champs, but they want to play their theme deck. They want to play, I feel like the tried and true is like they want to play their princess deck. And so I'm so excited that you have like taken this to top 8. You've proved that this is like a viable deck, at least in this current meta. So what are your thoughts around people as they're building their theme decks, like wanting to take them to set champs, be it a princess deck like yours, or we have a young woman at our locals who really wanted to take like a Lion King deck to set champs at one point. So what are your pieces of advice on like building a theme deck that's competitive?
So I've always heard this from my partner who has played like competitive Yu-Gi-Oh for many, many years. And he always told me that when it comes to playing a deck, it should be a deck that you're super confident in, that you can pilot and, just know from, know it like the back of your hand. And like, if you're super passionate and are going to have fun, like you're already a winner, for one. And then two, it's like sometimes just having, like a weird, unique, crazy deck is half of like winning, because people don't know what to expect. And so what Lorcana, especially in a 2-game format, which is what I played in, which I feel like also just adds a little bit to why this was like a little bit extra success, was it takes one game for my opponent to, the one drop Cinderella and they're like, oh, this is traditional Amber Steel song. But then, I play Mulan and they're like, wait, what's going on? One game for them to figure it out. And then the second game, they're still trying to figure out how to counter it. Can't really stop me. So I feel like just having a fun deck can just surprise people and take them off guard, which is always an advantage. I also feel just extremely accomplished by this. Because like I said, being in a competitive area, I can doubt my skills really easily just because I don't ever really win that often. And so it was really rewarding getting into.
Uh-oh.
We might have lost her for a second.
Yeah. There's this panic moment where it's like, us or the guest.
Yeah.
We have had, for those who've been around the show, we have had times where the stream has gone down and the guest
yeah.
We did have that happen on my very first women's roundtable. That was a fun experience.
It was still great.
It turned out really well. I am so happy for Kim and the community at a whole that we're seeing a theme deck, and of all theme decks, a princess deck being competitive and placing, because I think that opens our game to so many more people in the world, because now these like Disney fans who've never played a TCG before can take their favorite characters and they can go and feel good about their performance at set champs and the like. And so, I loved that. I love that. Yeah, she was able to do this.
No, that's something that I think is super exciting. Because decks like Kim's are ones that I think I kind of hoped to see in Disney Lorcana, like from the beginning. I wanted to play a deck that was full of princesses, or I wanted to play a deck that was full of, Mickey and friends, or things that were a little bit more thematic. And so I'm hesitant to even use the word like it being competitive or whatever, because I think there's it obviously can be a competitive deck. It did very well, but I really like I like to hold space for our social players to be social, right? And our casual players to be casual and be like, this is a deck that Kim brought because she wanted to have fun. The deck also did really well. Like I hate to use the word like taint, but I almost don't even want to taint the deck by being like, it's a competitive deck, whatever. It was a fun deck that did really well. And I think it's encouraging. Hopefully it's encouraging for other people to maybe experiment with their versions of decks, maybe how they can tweak decks that they've already seen do well in ways that maybe fit a theme that they want to play towards,
Yeah.
So we see you back, Kim.
So Kim,
don't know. We're just not gonna mess with the camera right
now. So my question for you obviously is we're gonna see, set rotations come into play, which is sad for your princess deck. But so you've got you've got one more set. You've got Raina Jafar to make this the most princess deck of all princess decks. And so what card, from a theme perspective, what card would you be so excited to see in Raina Jafar to maybe pull out some of these actions or some of these songs and put in a more princessy themed song? Like, what would that dream card be?
I really want a really good Amber Steel like Cinderella song because Cinderella's my favorite. So super biased, like a really good. I know we have Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, but something along those lines. Like This Is Love would be super cute, and it would be something like if you have a prince and princess character and play, you know, Gade 5 lore, something like that. Because this deck too also has a lot of prince synergy. Especially the one I had a pretty good tournament. It had a lot more princes, so I could make Glass Slipper trigger a lot more often. I think in this one I just have Naveen. But if that song was a thing, then more princes would be added for sure.
So something, a card that would merge princess and prince synergy together to like make a really powerful.
But specifically from Cinderella.
But also from Cinderella. Yeah. I love This Is like.
Yeah, specifically from Cinderella would be great.
That's fantastic. Okay, well, fingers crossed that in the next 2 weeks that gets revealed.
I know. Crossing my fingers. Great. The next few days, something.
There's still time, Ravensburger. We haven't seen all the cards. You can jam one out real quick.
Exactly.
There's still time.
Get an artist on it. Snap.
I know. They can jam it in there.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Well, Kim, we know you had to get back to your client here. Thanks for spending time with us. Before we say goodbye, I want to make sure people know how to follow you, not only so they can keep up with your princess deck and how you evolve it and your competitive exploits, but then also your super fun content.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. You can follow me on Enchanted_Kim. Primarily on Instagram is where I'm at the most, but I am also on X, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Discord.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much for making time, Kim. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me and all the technical difficulties I caused.
That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it fun.
Okay, have a good night, Kim. Bye.
Bye, Kim.
Yay.
Right, thank you.
That's what makes it fun. I do have to say, for those who are just joining us late, I want to make sure you know, I know the thumbnail
I
says...
love how you said late so pointedly.
For those of you who are joining us late, you
We're
know
glad
who you
you're
are.
here.
We're glad you're here. I want to let you know, I know the thumbnail says card reveal. We're doing that at 9. So you can leave and come back at 9.
Just stay.
Or just stay, because we're super fun. And we're talking
about other
Leave,
people.
stay.
I was about to say, we're going
Because
to
it
talk
might
about
happen a little bit before 9.
That's true. You might happen before 9. I just wanted to, I wanted people to know so they didn't feel like we're like, we're going to reveal a card, but we're not going to tell you when.
Yeah, we are revealing a card.
Stay around for hours. No, 9 o'clock is the target, right around there. And of course, like 10 people left.
Oh no.
9. All right. Well, before we 9 Central. 9 Central.
Thank you, Rochelle.
We're all on Central time here.
6 Pacific, I think.
Yes.
6 Pacific.
No,
No. 7 Pacific.
7 Pacific.
No, you're not shamed, Greg. You're not. We're just glad you're here. Honestly, we're just glad you're all here.
Yes.
Whenever you joined us, we're just glad you're all
We're
here.
glad you're all here. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Stay for the fun and the card.
Sorry,
reveal.
I just have to give Liam a hard time whenever I can.
It's true. I think it was in the vows. Anyway. Well, we're waiting for the card reveal. Anyway, Brent, any closing thoughts on the princess deck?
I mean, I don't want to repeat myself accidentally, but I do just really love that Kim was able to bring a deck that was so thematic, and I feel like, something that I've heard over the past couple of weeks with some of the news that has been revealed around Worlds and things like that. Social players are feeling a little bit down for different reasons, and I just think it's really awesome that Kim, who I feel like identifies as more of a social player maybe than a competitive player, was able to show up to a set champs, which historically social players have loved or hated, and do well with a deck that was thematic, and like she stayed true to herself. She didn't just find the most recent Steel Song list that topped an event. It was something that she wanted to do. She wanted to bring princesses in, and she did it, and she did well. And I think I remember seeing somewhere, I don't remember if it was on her socials or in a different Discord, but like She almost didn't go to the set champs, you know, and I think her partner encouraged her to go anyway, and to do it anyway because she's Enchanted Kim. She has to have the enchanted, you know, Hero Hamada. And so I don't know. I think it's just like a huge win for like social players out there. You know, like
Yeah.
don't be discouraged by some of the stuff that's happening in Lorcana right now. Don't feel like you can't bring your theme deck, your fun deck somewhere and still not have a blast or even do well with it. You know, at some of these events, and we obviously still have a bunch of set champs to go. Kim mentioned that, you know, her area is really stacked as well. There's a lot of really good players in the area, and she was still able to do really well. And so I personally think we see more of that stuff from Ravensburger. I know they're like really starting to lean into the puppies and stuff, and Amber Sapphire. I don't know how viable those decks are. Princesses are obviously a thing, and there's a couple more things that, you know, are more thematic that's being thrown into the game, and I'd love to see more of that just become more like viable. Like I said earlier, I don't even want to use the term competitive because I don't want to ruin it for our social players. I like the idea that things can kind of stay casual in that sense.
But what does feel really good, because, you know, so much of this community right now is also around, even like league nights are relatively competitive, and taking your theme deck into league and then like set champs would be the next step up from that, and feeling like you don't stand a chance, like that you're going to go into league or especially into set champs and you're just going to get, you know, beaten all day. Like that doesn't, as a social player, feel good. But as a social player, I want to be a part of the community. I want to have those similar experiences, but I want to walk away from those experiences also like feeling like I was able to hold my own in some respects. And so seeing a theme deck perform well shows me that like there is a chance, if I practice, if I become good enough, like I can take my theme deck, you know, to that next level. And that I think will just open the doors to social players a little bit more.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's good. I just, it's really good. That's why when we talk about social play, we talk about competitive play. Anytime we can bring them together, like, and talk about it together.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. And a lot of good shout outs to chat.
Speaking of competitive play,
let's do that. Let's move on because we have some more time before we do our card reveal. So Mo Shamblin, who's in the chat and perhaps in the green room, setting us up on a little segue here. Where is it? Thematic decks are eating this set. Let's talk about it with our next two guests. First, you saw him on the thumbnail. You saw him announced in advance. You know him. You love him. He's our favorite rules expert. It's Googly Glimmers.
What's up, Googly?
It's
He's been
me.
here the whole time.
Yep.
And then our next guest, you see him in the chat. You see him in the chat almost every week and around repping teams such as, or not repping teams such as, but repping the team Infinity. It's
Just
Mo Shamblin.
What's up, Mo?
good to see you.
Hey. And
I was just going to say, I have to thank these two gentlemen so much because Liam and I spent the weekend filming, you know, a little video that we might watch later. And we're very behind on planning the show this week. And both of these wonderful gentlemen came on to give us their thoughts on cards that have been revealed. So thank you both.
yeah. Well, I'm really excited both of you are here. You know, we have this problem a lot of times with reveal season now. It's so crunched. And Brandon, you used to do this thing with Jaunty where you would look at every card revealed every week.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Mad respect.
I love
And
you
that
so
was
much,
in,
Brandon,
like,
but I
look.
told Liam, if we ever do that, I'm out. I can't.
That was even when reveals were so much slower, right? Like they were weeks out and we'd, you know, get a handful of cards every week. I can't imagine. Like I was scrolling through shout out to Mushu Report. I was scrolling through that website before the show because he has a really good compartmentalization of those cards. I'm just like, there's zero way we'd be on the show for 4 hours trying to go through every card, or, you know, we wouldn't be able to give every card sort of its flowers. So yeah, the reveal season, when it's coming, it's like drinking out of a fire hydrant. You know, you better be ready.
Yeah. So we're not going to do that, but what we are going to do, I asked both these gentlemen in their respective lanes, googly, we asked, hey, are there some cards that from a rules perspective may throw some people and that you found interesting? We'll talk about a couple of those. And then for Mo, we asked, what cards are really going to change or define the meta of this set? Like some bangers that you see. And Mo, I think your answer was like everything or something like that.
I love your consciousness that you sent me. You're like, I basically just said every card that was revealed this week. And I'm like, I mean,
Wild set.
Actually, before we go into the cards, can you just explain why you say that? Like, why do you say it's, quote, a wild set?
So the power level of this upcoming set from like a competitive standpoint is one of the wildest I think we've seen since first chapter. I've seen more playable cards than unplayable. And you could ask me last reveal season when I was crying about my Emerald Amethyst cards that I just couldn't find a single playable worthwhile card outside of like one or two maybe. This set, no, there's so many. There'll be cards we'll be seeing play the entirety of this rotation set.
that's so wonderful.
That's fascinating. I want to talk about your cards in a minute because it's going to take a bit longer. First, let's throw up a couple of cards that Joe, you picked out.
Sure.
I'm missing one that I could not find.
Scandal.
I know. Light the fuse.
Okay, I'm glad we're starting with this one.
Oh, good. I love it because the art's amazing, and Kenny Anderson is a great friend from Scotland,
Kenny.
Glasgow, if you're in that area. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Glasgow.
So what's up with this
You
card?
can't say it like Kenny, but you did say it
can't.
correctly. I'm going to go turn on air conditioning. I'll be right back.
Oh, that's loud. Air conditioning is loud. So what's up with this card, Joe?
So it says, deal 1 damage to chosen character for each exerted character you have in play, which a lot of people saw this card and was like, hey, it's Strength of a Raging Fire Light or Diet or whatever. And if you look at Strength of a Raging Fire, you'll notice that it is phrased quite differently. Strength of a Raging Fire says, deal damage equal to the number of characters that you have in play. It uses different words for what is maybe kind of sort of the same thing, right? So we were like, well, is this different? Does this do 1 damage a bunch of times? And then that would make it absolutely garbage against like a resist character, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But you will all be glad to know we asked Kyle, and Kyle was like, y'all are overthinking it. Shut up. It's the same. It's the same as strength. It's just one. You count up the characters, you add up the damage, and then you go kabah all in one go. So
to be clear,
everything's fine.
it's not deal 1 damage 5 times on something. It's just deal the 5 damage.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Big Googly Glimmers fan here. I was actually catching up on this on, I think it might have been Twitter before, and so I was excited to hear you talk about this one.
Yeah, this is
That's good.
But that's fine. It's. I'm annoyed that they changed the way they wrote it, but I'll get over it.
We're gonna do this. I'm gonna commit to this ahead of time, Brandon. If you're up for it, we're gonna do this every set. We're gonna do a show where we bring on Joe to talk about all the landmines he sees.
Yeah.
I'll have to do my homework a little better next time because I feel a little underprepared with like the 20 million cards that came out since like last night when Aaron asked me to come on. But it's okay.
So is strength one of the cards that's going to be rotated out? Like, so I imagine this rewrite and everything has to do with potentially the rotation that's coming up, like preparing for that, like having a similar card to strength.
Yep.
But okay, just out of
so.
curiosity.
As far as we know, it's rotating. It could be reprinted.
That's true.
It could be reprinted. Yeah, that's true.
Enchanted Strength would be $1 bajillion. Right. So what's up? Okay, Fantastical Magical is another card you sent me. Sing together 9 for each character that sang this song. Draw a card and gain 1 lore.
So, almost the first thing that anybody says to themselves when they look at a great big Sing Together card, they go, "Ooh, what if I sing it twice with Ursula?" Right? And you need to understand, Ursula doesn't sing twice. She sings once, and then she plays the second time. So
Ooh.
normally, now there's a caveat, but normally you'll sing it, you'll get your however much lore and however many cards, and then you'll replay it with Ursula, and you will get nothing. Um, you get to put it back in your deck, which might be a good thing, but you do not get anything else. Now there is a caveat. There's a fun caveat. You can sing if you want to the song that you play for free with Ursula, which in this case not super helpful, right? Because if you had the stuff to sing it, you could have just sung it with everybody and you'd get the same result anyway. Unless again you have the new Alma Madrigal, right? Who lets you ready all of your characters that just sang. I think I don't have her pulled up. It's something like that. So you could, in theory, I think. Oh man, I feel like I'm making a mistake because I'm not looking at the card. Oh, I can't find it. It's too late. Okay, but there's maybe something fun there. I won't go into details in case I'm wrong, but there's some
fair.
maybe fun there.
That's fair.
Where is she at?
While you're looking at that,
Talk to your local judge, folks. Talk
Talk to your local judge. But don't sing it twice with Ursula and expect that you're getting a fun time because you're not.
Yeah, what a bummer to discover like in a live event, right? Like I'm singing it twice.
Oh,
Bum,
no,
bum,
no.
ba-da. My whole deck is built around this combo. All right. While you're considering that, I've got a couple other cards for you, but I want to throw it over to Mo because one of the first things I've got like 6 cards on this next slide because one of the first things you said or in your giant wall of text that you sent, like raving about this set. Is,
I didn't even send you all of the texts.
I know.
I had to go put
Oh
our
my
daughter down.
gosh.
So I basically just forwarded Liam like most texts, but I didn't forward all of them.
You said something about Churnadogs just going off, and so I loaded a bunch of dogs.
Lady, that lady, man.
Look at them.
Oh, look at them all. Jacques is not necessarily like a Churnadogs card necessarily, but he's a dog, and I was
Look,
like, he's awesome. I'm gonna put
He's
him
from
in.
the
He's
franchise.
Yeah, there you go.
He's Emerald. I'm getting my colors confused.
I mean, I put 6. It's not fair to say, what do you think of all these cards? But are there any particular cards here you want to talk about first? And just where do you see this deck going in general?
All right. So first off, I see Ghosty in chat on Twitch. Shout out Ghosty. Talking about Churnadogs, and of course, I'm glad to see you here. Second,
True.
I don't think there is a single card on this page that is unplayable, with most of them being very playable, if not very high tier cards. Like the Tramp is a really interesting card for Emerald Amethyst in particular. Probably not super great in dogs, but it can be a lady enabler, so it's fine. And it's a shift target. Can give himself ward. Had to double check that, and that's really nice. So you can guarantee a safe shift on the next turn. That could be a play line. The small 1-drop lady is functionally one of the best 1-drops I think the game has ever seen, especially for a deck. But like, it's a 0/3. It survives a opposing Cinderella on the first turn, singing "Let the Storm Rage On," which is just a caveat for like great 1-drop. But then whenever you play a character, it pumps her up to be a trading tool, but she can also quest for 3, which is wild. The Tramp Shift can help you just kind of like, it's just a safe, be prepared turn card to play. And Jock's fine. Like, I could see playing him in Emerald Amethyst, but he's kind of a little win more. But the one that probably is just one of the craziest cards I think I've ever seen is that solo Amber lady up at the top middle. When you play this character, you may play a character with cost 2 or less for free. That's functionally pretty insane. Like, just on the turn this comes out, it's a 2-quester, it's inkable, so you don't really have to, but you diversify your board, you widen it out. You know, I'm a huge fan of attacking with a wide board, but that card is just like crazy. We got a year of this card, like, if I understand rotation correctly, and it's gonna do some wild things. Like, just to put a situation out there, I don't want to spend the whole time talking about Churnadogs, but You play this, and you play a tramp out of your hand. Simple, right? You have two diverse shift targets to play a threat onto. You can shift onto that lady and get your cards back, or you can shift onto that tramp and have this massive 2/8 body that gives you cards back whenever you lose your characters, which just functionally fuels their engine. That is going to be the deck to beat coming out of the gate. Like, it's crazy good.
That is wild. Shout out! If I'm reading the chat right, I've learned from people who do Twitch. Gotta make sure to shout out the raids. If I'm reading this correctly, I think Panda just brought in a bunch of folks on a raid. Thanks, Panda Raiders. We're gonna do a card reveal. You timed it perfectly. In 10 minutes ish, we're gonna do a card reveal, and you're gonna be one of the first in the world to see a brand new card. So stick around for another 10 minutes.
And for those of you who've been around a while, I have a question for Brandon. Are you going to be wearing an Amber Emerald pin at Worlds?
I don't know. It depends on what stuff we end up finding in Rain of Jafar, because obviously Trinadogs is getting a lot of support, and like Mo said, I think I'm most excited about this 3-drop lady because she just opens up a ton of different combinations and kind of nasty plays in Amber more aggressive lists.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That's awesome.
What else did Mo send us?
Well, I mean, that lady is functionally pretty nuts. I feel like that is a card for the next year that people are going to actually look to build. There could be decks built around this combo as 1 and 2 drops are introduced in other colors. You could immediately see this application in another color and pivot to build an entire deck around Amber something else, depending on what those 1 and 2 drops are.
Don't forget they're bringing back Rockstar Stitch.
Oh
yeah, Rockstar's coming back.
Rockstar
in Amber, best ink color. Just gonna say
best, yeah. Those enchanted Rockstars from the first set champs could be good. All right, I've got one more card queued up for you, Mo, because I didn't have time for the others because you sent me a lot. Let's look at this one though.
I feel bad. I don't have a Rockstar. I wasn't playing at that time, so I don't have a Rockstar Stitch to be showing off with you guys. You cool?
I might have an extra one for you, Mo.
There. Oh, look at that. Mo, you have every other shiny card. Mo is in Beckett ads. If you're scrolling through like your reels, you could stumble across Mo in an ad for Beckett showing off his graded championship cards. It happens to me all the time. I'm just like scrolling through, and Mo showing up his cards just pops up.
I have a great story about that that'll make as quick as possible. We had to leave at 3 a.m. here to get to Beckett at the time we needed to get there because we were driving because Plano's not too far away. And when they had me do that interview, I was on like 2 hours of sleep and had been in a car all day, and it was fun. It was fun. Okay, so let's look at this Ludwig von Drake because this card is wild. So whenever you look at the ink pairing, Amber Sapphire has never been given a lot of love, despite my fascination with this puppy deck that sits on my desk as we speak right now. Rockstar.
Yeah, there he is.
This is a card that almost single-handedly carries a color combination as we currently see it. 2 cost, uninkable 1/1, lures for 1. So nothing super crazy. It's ally, so it has ally synergy there, which is getting bigger and bigger for every set down the line. But when you play this character, chosen opponent reveals their hand and discards a non-character card of your choice. This is like just sings out to one of my favorite cards in the game. A lot of any Ruby Amethyst's least favorite card in the game, which is Ursula Deceiver. You look at your opponent's hand and rip a song from it. This is that, but better. You can pick a McDuck Manor, you can pick actions, you just get to rip a non-character card and you get information. This card is valuable to be played at any stage of the game for that reasoning. But then even more so whenever this character is banished, it ramps. You put this card in your inkwell face down and exerted. This is like the set 1 Grandma Tala, who still had some like, it never was just a completely awful card, even though it hasn't seen play probably ever. But like, it's just both of those effects combined in one. And this, along with all the new puppy support or Amber Sapphire cards that we've seen and have yet to see, I think might enable this ink type for this upcoming set. One of the biggest things I have noticed with these reveals is some very incredibly powerful cards in the Dual Link category. Whereas I feel like with the last set, Dual Links were rather tame. There were some very, very good ones, but for the most part, they were mostly tame. And this set, they're finally like dipping their toes in, okay, let's define not only this ink, but this ink combination here with just some very powerful cards. And this is definitely one of them. This card is cracked.
Which, as a casual player, I love that these dueling cards are becoming more powerful because I think it really helps folks who are trying to dip their toe into deck building start to think about how are you going to shape a deck around a particular card or a particular combination. And this is one of the first steps, which is like, okay, what 2 ink colors am I going to choose? Well, if you can find a dueling card that you're really excited about playing, it lets you know what deck you need to build. And so I think that this is great for newer TCG players.
Yeah, it is absolutely fantastic. There's some really interesting cards coming for Ruby Steel, which Ruby Steel, ever since that ink combination has gotten the most create a card things I've ever seen. Like most of the Mushus, I'm just like, oh my gosh, if any other color combination got this card, that'd be wild. But there's some really exciting stuff coming for this entire set. I'm excited to say I'm hyped on Emerald Amethyst to start the set. Like, this is the first time I've been like that for a minute since I saw Go-Go come out.
Yeah. I don't know. Brendan, any thoughts on that before I go to Joe's next card?
Not really. We'll just
Yeah.
keep going.
I mean, really?
There's a lot to say. I could talk all night about this stuff, but I'm going to just let these
That's
guys
fair.
keep going.
Yeah, we should do a repeat of this. This is a good panel. We should do this again before Rainer Jafar comes out.
Yeah.
With some more cards because we're just not going to get to everything. All right. So for those who've tuned us since, Joe is one of our rules experts in the Lorcana community, and every set there are cards that come out that people kind of look at and they're like, they either interpret it wrong or they have questions. And Joe is an expert at grabbing those cards and figuring them out. So the next card you gave us, Joe, was Jiminy Cricket, or I can't do it. This card was revealed, I think, in French. It has evasive, and the card reads, while this character is exerted, opposing characters with rush enter exerted.
Wait, do we know that that's actually the exact English translation?
No.
Because as much as I know, Joe, like every word matters.
That is a good point.
It is true.
That is a good point.
Yes. So everything I'm about to say is contingent on the fact that the French translation is accurate. But it's not a particularly complex card text, so we should be safe. But this one's fun because Peter Pan Shadow Finder just has kind of shimmied its way back into play. So now we all get to learn that if a card is entering play and gaining rush when it does so, Jiminy will exert it. Even though it doesn't have rush on it, it still has it when it comes in, and it gets really tired.
Oh, wow.
That
still stops
It's
all
really
those
tired. Sorry.
No, that's actually a fascinating ruling, right? Because in other card games, like the effect of the card doesn't necessarily matter until it enters play and then the card triggers. So there are other card games where that card would not gain rush until it is in play already. And you're saying this is the opposite.
Yep, Lorcana is got to be a little different, I guess. But on the other hand, we also got, I think it's the new Mushu, right? The 2-colored Mushu that gives things rush and reckless and evasive, right?
That's
So that one, if your opponent's playing that one, you're out of luck, unfortunately, because that one is a triggered ability. So instead of the opponent's cards gaining rush as they're played, they gain it after they're played. So that one does not. I mean, it works for them because it's their card, but for you, it's not as good.
Okay, wait. So can you explain that in context of like how the new Mushu is different than, say, Peter Pan Shadow Finder?
Sure. So if you play an evasive, or okay, I'll be the Jiminy player, right? So my opponent plays an evasive while they have Shadowfinder in play.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever they're playing comes into play with Rush already.
Okay.
Right? So it'll be exerted by Jiminy. Immediately. It does, actually, that was a wrong thing to say. It doesn't get exerted by Jiminy. It enters exerted because of Jiminy.
Okay.
Because it's not a triggered effect, right? Not a triggered ability.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking Mushu, and I know we've got like a minute left. If we're talking Mushu on my opponent's field, they play something. It comes into play normally. And then when they get to resolve their triggered ability from Mushu, then it gains Rush and Evasive, etc. So it doesn't have it as it comes into play, so Jiminy doesn't see it.
Fascinating.
Makes
There you
sense.
go.
It's really cool. Speaking of
Fascinating.
Emerald Amethyst cards, I'm hyped about. This is one of them.
There you go.
He's pretty neat.
I feel like there's most in set. I feel like you're hyped about most. We're gonna have to do this again. Because I honestly could talk to you both. I know we all could talk to you both like all night about some of these cards you're excited about. And Joe, these rulings are actually fascinating because you've presented some nuggets that hadn't occurred to me, and I know we're going to come up, at our LGS. So
That's the job.
but with that, we did promise the folks a card reveal at 9, and we're there. So what is that rule of showbiz to say? Always leave them wanting more. Is that a showbiz term?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rebecca would know. Yeah, always leave them wanting more. I think that's what we're going to do in terms of this conversation, because we do have to move on.
Yes. Are you gonna?
Should we do a card reveal?
We should do a card reveal.
Do y'all want to do a card reveal?
Let's do it.
Let's see a new card.
All right.
I'm excited.
I'm excited to see all of your reaction on the other side. Aaron, what do you have to say about this?
Gotta get one of my other enchanteds ready for afterwards.
Ooh.
Liam, when we receive an opportunity to get a card reveal, we are so incredibly grateful. And Liam always tries to best himself each time we get a card reveal, which means I am very nervous about the next card reveal we have an opportunity to do, because I think that this
How does it get bigger?
might be at the top. But we're really excited to show everybody in the community what we've been up to for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. I just
Rochelle, please keep sending us card reveals, by the way.
Before I hit play, I just want to say in advance 2 things. The first is just for anybody with like audio sensitivity, I just want to warn you. I have a feeling I didn't get the balance of the music right, so the music might be a little loud. I apologize, but hopefully it's not that bad. But there's your warning. 2, I just want to thank everybody who's here. Card reveals are a huge responsibility, and they take a lot of work. And for you all to be here, experiencing this with us and watching our video, it means a lot. So thank you. And if you want to rewatch it later, while this video is live, I'm going to go post it live on YouTube as well. And so this video will be available on its own outside of the stream for you to rewatch on YouTube. Send it to your friends. Okay. Should we just like do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
Do it. Oh my gosh, Liam. The Sugar Rush Race Circuit is coming to Austin. But where are we going to get a Sugar Rush card on this short notice?
Aaron, you know how badly I've always wanted to compete on the Sugar Rush circuit.
Wait. You're not going to do that thing where you get super overly ambitious and you try to make us pull off something in a short amount of time that we totally can't. Are you?
What?
Hey, Stephanie, this is the Illuminateers. I need a Sugar Rush card design stat.
Sugar Rush car? You've got it!
Liam, they just released the race roster for this weekend.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they've brought in some ringers. Taffeta Mutton Fudge and Rancis Flinger Butter is going to be here.
Oh dear.
Do you really think you're up for it?
I don't know. That's a really stiff competition. I don't know if I'm up for it, but I really want the car to race.
You know, why don't we call Ravensburger? I bet they have a driver on standby.
Buying and selling. This is our biggest quarter of the year. I need 10,000 units done by tomorrow. Hold up, I gotta take this. Ravensburger corporate office.
Hey, Ravensburger. It's the Illumineers. Hey, we need a favor.
A driver? All the drivers tied up at the moment. Oh wait, I think I got a guy. He's a little bigger than average, but I think he might work.
Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you too.
Oh my gosh, you're here! Liam is here! Wreck-It Ralph Big Lug is an Amber Ruby 7-cost 7/5 with 1 lore.
He's a Floodborn who shifts for 5, and his ability, Back on Track, says, when you play this character and whenever he quests, you may return a racer character card with cost 6 or less from your discard to your hand. If you do, gain 1 lore. He's also a hero and a racer.
This card was tailor-made to slot into our current Amber Ruby racer decks because it synergizes so well with other racers like Taffeta Mutton Fudge, Snowana Rainbow, Turbo, and Vanellope, among others.
For shift targets, there's a couple expensive options in Amber, but they're probably not your go-tos. There's a really good one though, the 3-cost Demolition Dude in Ruby.
And we would be remiss if we didn't mention the art. The art depicts Ralph hauling what looks like Vanellope's car behind him, and if you look really closely in the distance, you can see Jafar's palace on Arcasia's island. This piece is done by the amazing Javi Salas, who's done several other Lorcana cards in previous sets. So what do you think of this card, and are you as excited as we are for Reign of Jafar? Let us know in the comments below.
All right, that was it.
Oh my gosh! Yes, round of applause for that reveal all around.
That happens. We have a sugar rush car in our driveway, by the way, everybody.
Does it really go?
Wall right here.
So it actually would. It needs a little bit of repair, but the engine starts, and it needs just a little bit of tweaking by somebody smarter than me to actually make it go.
Yeah, the wonders of Facebook Marketplace, folks. The wonders of Facebook Marketplace.
Not to downplay anybody else's card reveals, but I think at this point it is safe to say that the Illumineers take the cake when it comes to like doing the most. Like everybody thought the Grand Pabby thing was like over and above. This was like by far so much work. You guys should be so proud. That was awesome.
Yeah, instead of painting Liam this time, we decided to paint an entire go-kart.
I did get Candy to glue in my hair for the costume, and Aaron said, absolutely not.
No.
And I was like,
do you want to shave your head? And he's like, no. And I'm like, then we are not gluing Candy to your hair. We're just not doing it. The hat was the compromise.
No, I will say, like, everybody's reveals are amazing. I know everybody has, you know, the time and everything to put into it. So this was just... we just had
that was an idea.
Just had fun.
Yeah. So I hope everybody enjoyed it because it was actually really fun.
Yeah.
That was
Lots
great.
of
That was
very
amazing.
So good.
Oh, I said I was going to put, hold on, let me make it.
Oh yeah, you didn't actually post it.
Yeah, public.
Okay, now it's live, everybody. So you can
we get the premiere.
rewatch it.
Go
You
share
can
it.
watch. You can watch JDZ be Ravensburger
The
over and over
amazing
again.
cameo.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I loved the Kim Possible ringtone. It made me so happy.
Everything JDZ does is amazing.
So anyway,
Honestly. Thanks for watching. I got a little emotional watching it because I was just kind of proud of the thing.
yeah.
But we also saw a card.
Oh yeah, there was a card at the end.
Yeah. So
There it
it's
is.
funny. Like, so shortly before this, Patrick, I'm not going to pronounce his last name right. Coate, world qualifier from Canada, has a podcast, and they revealed a shift target for Ralph, who has some really good racer synergy as well. And so Mo is in the green room back here saying this card's actually pretty good if we get a good shift target for him. I was like, we already did.
Like 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's go.
I don't know. What do you all think?
Well, I will say the only racer that he can't return to your hand is himself. So that's an interesting place to start. If Dreamborn is up to date, I just searched, but I think it is
Why is that, Joe?
because he's the only one that costs more than 6.
Oh, I guess yes. Okay, sorry. There we go. Math.
Yeah.
I can do math. I promise.
Oh yeah,
7
big
is more
7.
than 6. Got it.
7 ink.
Usually,
So, notably, I would like to point out that I don't see a once per turn anywhere on this card. So, like, you look to shift him, you get the card back, and then if you have another one, you can quest immediately and get the card back as well, and make a pretty big lore/advantage push just off this one. And he's got a crazy statted body. Like, I'm not the biggest Speed Racer deck fan, but this card looks pretty good.
and Ruby likes to ready their characters.
Oh yeah. Okay. Liam just pulled up, and we'll see how fast he can get the other screen up. But he pulled up the shift target that was revealed today is a Ruby 3 cost 4/2 Wreck-It Ralph.
Ooh.
So
Oh wow.
Oh, so okay, well, yeah, but then you would be able to attack with him. So you could play this guy, give himself the attack bonus, and then shift. And all you need to do is give him rush. Somehow.
Find a way to give him rush.
Yeah.
I think there's ways to do
if
that.
you have any
really.
ink left after spending 10.
Yeah.
This card's actually really good. Like, it's just like a crazy doubled up Merlin crab all in one. Not doubled up necessarily, but yeah. Wow.
There seems to be a lot of kind of that synergy in some of the racer cards as well. Like I'm just quickly looking through Dreamborn, and like the old Calhoun dual ink shift wants
Oh,
you to
look,
return racers from
Liam.
your discard as well.
Yeah.
Bring up the Can you bring up the Fix It Felix Jr. from set 7?
Give me a minute. I can. Yeah. Keep talking while I do it.
oh yes.
Let's get to work.
All right.
Whenever
Yeah.
you return a racer character card from your discard to your hand, you may ready chosen racer character.
Excuse me?
And then they can't quest. But
I was
You
like,
can't quest.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
but they can
Well,
punch.
let's see
Yeah.
here. Still.
All right.
That's
Coming.
So that's 3.
Oh wait, I thought we were already sharing that screen.
Yeah, I just don't know. I'm just tired.
Oh, okay.
There we
From
go.
TCG Fire. You can get it for 5 cents. Everyone, there you go.
For now.
Cheap synergy.
For now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Weird.
Oh wait, hidden Mickey in the background. Hello, friends. The little
Yep.
lily pads.
The lily pads.
Oh, yeah. Cute. Here, so just can't be ready chosen racer character. They can't quest for the rest of the turn. Wow.
Okay.
There you go. So they just automatically.
And you can do this twice. There's some synergy there. Hold up. Didn't know we were going to be cooking midstream.
There's a lot of now that I'm looking through some of the racer cards, there's like a handful of them that want you to pull racers from your discard. Like there's a King Candy one. Is that from that's from set 8 that's coming. That's a dual link. The Calhoun shift wants
Yep,
you to
the
do it
little
as
one.
well. Of course, this new Fix It Felix. And there's multiple racer
and then
characters that I rush as
This
well.
one has princess synergy for no reason. Ugh.
She's a princess.
for the future Princess Racer deck that's coming. All Vanellope's and Floodborne Princess
Oops, all
Racers.
Vanellope's.
Oops, all Vanellope's. I don't know. There's it's funny because the racers came out set 5, 6, 5?
I think
And they're-
5.
First one was 5. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So we got the Sugar Rush Speedway. We got the racers, and you're like, okay, the racers are fun flavor. You're supposed to bounce them on the speedway and do some fun stuff. Okay, there's a little bit there, but there's not a ton of synergy. And then every set, kind of like we've seen with other, with other typal cards, we just get more and we get more and we get more. And at some point, maybe it's now that we have the number that we need to like crack this deck, because there's just a lot going on. Yeah.
And something that I'm definitely interested in. It even looks like there might be enough racers and enough different synergies between them to have kind of 2 different types of racer decks. Like the original one, I feel like was very much on getting things to locations and things like that. But it looks like wanting to pull racers out of the discard and sort of utilizing racers with Rush and sort of beefing them up with cards like the Wreck-It Ralph that gives things bigger strength, things like that. Like you can have a whole different racer style of deck with that as well.
That's a good point. Yeah, because the racers are doing 2 different things as a group, especially if we consider Sugar Rush Speedway. Yeah, it's interesting. That's fun. I don't know. There's a game. There's like a team game with like all racers.
Sorry, Zach is asking about a boat reveal. Zach, we actually had a boat reveal 2 sets ago. We rented a canoe and we're paddling on the lake in Austin.
With Hey.
Yeah, that's where Hey was acquired. That card reveal, we bought a Stuffy. This card reveal, we bought a go-kart.
I'd like to think at this point, Rochelle and or Ravensburger are just looking through the cards in future sets to see like what craziness they can give you guys to see just how far you'll go.
What is the most extra?
I was thinking about that on my drive home today. I was like, next thing I know, we're going to be like renting a skyscraper or something. I don't know.
I mean, like a skydiving card, and you guys have to go skydiving or something crazy.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I never. Yeah, I would do it.
Liam's always wanted to skydive.
Yeah,
Don't let go of the card on the way down.
Right. Oh yeah. That's where it goes. Anyway. Yeah. Anyway. So fun racers. What else do we have on this? Build a racer deck. Y'all. And I'm going to go check the price of Enchanted Vanellope's here in a minute.
Don't
There's
show
also
me.
D23 Vanellope's from the D23 gift
Oh
set.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. One other
Rochelle, whatever it is, it will be great.
one other no, sorry, I would be remiss if I didn't shout out. I have to mention, you saw me do a lot of time-lapsey work in the video on the race car because I didn't mind getting eaten by mosquitoes and am a bit of a masochist. Erin did a ton of the work inside. Like she ran to the store to get all the supplies like constantly and did all the painting inside. So there's a ton of pieces and parts that were assembled and painted indoors that Erin did, and then I put on the car. And then the other piece is Erin did the whole custom newspaper with the articles. There's a whole great article about fashions of the season in Lorcana. There's a recap of a soccer game between the Puppies and the Pirates, which the Puppies won, I think.
The Puppies did win that soccer game.
Although oddly enough, the Puppies are coached by Duchess, which is a fun little cats and dogs mix.
There is an ad for Gaston's SAT prep course, and there's a typo in the ad.
Yeah,
that woman's fun
on purpose.
So much creativity.
You have to publish the image.
Yeah, we need like photos or it to be published somewhere or something.
Well, yeah, we'll throw it on Instagram maybe, but I did have to say that because the video is unfair and because the time lapses are so cool, it just doesn't show all the work Erin's doing inside. It just shows a lot of me outside. So, yeah.
Thank you, sweetie.
Don't give me anything expensive, please. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
Okay, well, that's it for the show this week. Thanks, everybody, for coming. We can go around the table. Joe, where can people follow you?
That's it. Googly Glimmers, basically everywhere. I have, Twitter, Blue Sky. What's this YouTube? That's the important one. Yeah.
Joe had a fun card reveal this set. He put googly eyes on a pigeon.
I did.
That is true.
It was a
Anyways.
little cheaper than buying a go-kart, especially since I already had the googly eyes.
Semantics.
That is fair. But you're also better at marketing, so you got a much better giver. So all in all, I think it
Not at
evens
all.
out.
Mo, what about you? Where can folks follow you?
Okay, so first I just want to talk about Googly's card reveal. I'm terrible at anything math related. I worked so hard. I was like, there's gotta be a hidden message. There's one for one. Isn't it?
I'm glad somebody got it. I didn't think it
Let
was that hard.
Let me find. Did you figure it out, Mo?
Oh Lord, no, no clue.
No, Enchanted Hunter got a lot of the way, and then Stephen Gettle jumped in at the last hurdle, and they kind of collaborated to get the
Nice.
ending.
Aw, leave it to Steven.
I love that. If you ever want to do puzzle, come on over to the Limited Tier Discord and do some. Do some. Hold on, I gotta share this real quick so people know what we're talking about.
Oh, get my pigeon up.
Reasons you need to
Oh, my
follow
puzzle.
Google
Yeah.
on Twitter.
Yeah. As I saw that post and I was like, I don't have the time or mental capacity for this.
It's fair. You had a giant candy corn to paint, so
Yeah. Yep.
That's
Yep.
amazing.
Which who gets to say that, in their lives? I'm sorry, I interrupted you though.
So Mo, where can people follow you?
Okay, so I'm that Mo Kid on Twitter. Also YouTube. Also check me out on Team Inkfinity. I'm usually on the weekly podcast, one or the other. And we're also on Twitter, Blue Sky, YouTube. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. And you can see Mo on the Fancy Schmancy Worlds that's happening at the end of June. Follow his pathway to Worlds.
Oh my gosh, y'all. I'm getting there.
You're gonna be great. You're gonna be great. Okay, Brandon, where can people check you out except for here every Monday night?
Yeah, I'm here every Monday night with you guys. Other than that, you can find me on Blue Sky at B224. I do have a YouTube channel as well. I upload on that sometimes. Maybe I'll do a fun product opening or something like that with Reign of Jafar. So be sure to check me out over there as well. There was something I was going to say before the show ended. Now I forgot what it was. So that's all.
Well, if you remember before next week.
Or while I'm rambling our closing here. Because thanks everyone for watching. Shout out to everyone watching across I'm gonna give platform shout outs to the 75 of you on YouTube. Thank you. To the 15 of you on Twitch, thanks for hanging in, and thanks to Panda for the raid. And to the 306 of you watching on the artist formerly known as Twitter, thanks. I appreciate all of you. If you're following, go ahead and hit subscribe or follow or whatever it says on your particular platform. We're here every Monday night and we do the occasional video, and we'd love to see you back.
Except for next week, in which case we will be here on Tuesday night because we will be on a plane on Monday night.
Yeah. So
come hang out with us on Tuesday.
But if you are watching on the Twitters, the Twitterverse, go ahead and hop onto one of these other platforms too and hit one of those buttons because
it's helpful.
And I can't chat with you on Twitter. Like we can't chat with you on Twitter the same way we can on the other platforms. It's a thing that Restream does for some reason. So, and a special shout out. I don't have them card queued up here to our Patreon supporters for helping to make this show happen. As you can see, it's expensive because we're crazy, and your support helps make the craziness happen. So
buy
thank
things
you.
like go-kart. It's a great investment. Folks.
Yeah,
it's a great investment.
You saw them all in the credits in the intro. So thanks to all our Patreon supporters for helping us out. Appreciate that. With that, what did I miss?
Thank you so much to Ravensburger for giving us this card reveal this season. We are so grateful every time, like every opportunity that we get to work with Ravensburger. We kind of have to pinch ourselves that this is our reality. So thank you so much for entrusting us with this. So, and we'll see everybody next week. Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, link to the review videos in the comments. Send it to your friends because it's fun.